it's like stretchy. It's like...
My beautiful people, we got something special for you today. It's the HOKA Mafate X new trail shoes. Welcome back to the channel. Hella here, run streaker, transcontinental runner. I can say that because I did a one-time run from LA to New York City. And I've done a few 100-mile races and a few marathon. Let's talk about shoes. I'm excited about this shoes because trail season is upon us. I don't run on the trail majority of my run streak. But when that opportunity comes, I get really excited because for those who run in the trail, you know how fun it is. This shoe, the Mafate, was the original HOKA shoes. The shoe that put HOKA on the map. Let's take you back to 2009 when it first appeared at the UTMB in Chamonix. It was the first ever HOKA shoes. Now we're here with the X. If you hear X on any HOKA shoes, that means there's some kind of plates in it, usually carbon fiber plates. So the Mach X, for example, is a P-Bax plate. But if you look at the Rocket X2, you look at the Tecton X, there's all of them are carbon plates. So this one over here has a fork carbon plate. What that means is it's like, imagine a fork, like how literally you see my finger. Front of it is forked out, like open, and the rest is like intact together. And the midsole of the shoes, in the middle of the shoes, while the PBF foam is holding it. So before we go far, everybody knows, if you don't know, I'm a HOKA ambassador, so I only review HOKA shoes because that's the only shoes that I wear. Just to put that for you guys for transparency. I saw these shoes, my first reaction was, ooh, this is a big boy. Doesn't it look stacked? So look at it, it's an 8mm drop. What that means is from the back of the shoe to the front is 8mm drop. And I believe the back stack is 49mm, and then on the forefoot is 41mm. And when I looked at these shoes, I'm like, I like this because my favorite color is yellow. But as soon as I slipped my feet in that thing, I was like, whoa, why does this feel so comfortable? Because of the tongue. The tongue has this padding on it that is really hard to describe to you via camera. You have to feel it yourself. This thing is actually like freaking sponge. It feels nice because as soon as I slip my feet in, I'm like, wait, why is such a nice padding? It feels like memory foam, like the tongue. The heel, my heel was touching on this side of the shoes. I was like, this feels really comfortable. Immediately I feel that padding. Immediately I feel the heel, how nice and soft. As soon as I put on my foot, when I was getting out to the trail, I am excited to put this Mafate X to the test. Because as soon as I put it on my feet, I had this feeling of feeling like high up. Not just in terms of the height of the shoes, but it felt like it's elevating me because the material, the comfort from the tongue, it has this padding on it that felt so good. On my heel, the foam here, it felt so nice. We'll see how the carbon plate helps that foam when we hit the trail, which we're about to head to right now. My immediate reaction, y'all, when I started running. Oh, nice turn, grippy on the turn. Feel like I'm in an F1 car with that grip. Okay, so as stacky, beefy looking this shoes is, it doesn't feel, you would think that, I might feel a little different with these shoes on because it might not be something I'm used to, because it does make you feel tall. But one of the first things I noticed immediately, not just the walking part, but when I started running, I felt immediately that it was normal shoes. Like, it didn't feel stacky, it didn't feel beefy, it didn't feel like it was too much shoes. And you don't really think that at all until you look down on the shoes, and then it'll make you feel like that. Even though the feeling of the shoes and the way it moves doesn't make you feel that way. So immediately, if you're nervous because the way these shoes look like, it might make you feel weird, shorten your kid, I don't know. It feels like I just put on my regular, normal, like comfortable height shoes, because they almost like, it just works. I don't know how to put that into engineering term or scientific term, but for me personally, it just works. I'm not thinking of any of that. I'm just thinking, wow, this is nice, it's wet, it's muddy right now with the rain, and I have the confidence to twist and turn like exactly how you see me with the ground, and I don't feel like I'm losing traction. Put it to the feet, Some areas more muddier than others, but it's a wet dirt, so the turns are turning, you know, the tightness is still working on this surface, you know. Yeah, that's was my initial impression. I was thinking to myself, this reminds me of a car. I'm a car enthusiast. I'm gonna put stuff into perspective for you guys from a car side. Everybody heard of a Rolls Royce? If you haven't, Rolls Royce is a fancy British car that is very expensive. It is very luxurious. It is very comfortable, but it has a huge engine in it. Correct me if I'm wrong, like V12, it's insane. The cylinder is so many, but it can drive fast, but it's so luxurious at the same time. I feel like this was a luxurious shoes. It has the comfort. It's so plush. It really is a plushy shoes. But when I started kicking a little bit, I felt the carbon work for me where it was giving me that push. So it didn't just feel like it's comfortable, but it can't move. And as I started running with it, I'm thinking this is a grippy shoes, because when I got out there, it was very wet. It was very slimy. It was in a trail where there's a lot of trees, so the dirt already feels like mossy, slimy, and grimy, and now the water coming down. And I felt confident with my traction. As I move forward with it, I'm thinking, this shoes is definitely for the long run. I think it's designed for people who wants to go longer on a race. It's not designed for you to be extremely fast. I think if that's the case, it's the Tecton X series, in my personal opinion. But later on, I did find out with HOKA, this shoes is designed to go very far distance for 100-mile races, longer. And people who are in the middle of the pack, the back of the pack, like myself, you're on your feet long. It gives you that comfort. But just because it's for the long run, it does not mean that it cannot go for people who wants to go quicker and shorter, or even faster in the long run. An example is a HOKA professional elite athlete. I spoke to Heather Jackson, and we saw Annie also, who competed at a 100-mile race not too long ago, ran in this, and they're fast people. But you don't have to be fast to wear this. You could be fast to wear it, you could be slow to wear it. But I think it's designed for the long haul, because it will keep your feet very comfortable. And when I start pushing it, I can feel the carbon pop. It's really nice. You feel it. It's like, okay, Hellah, you want to move a little quicker? Let's move. The Vibram was very grippy, like I was saying. The grip on the bottom, you can see it. When I was actually walking in the house, because my floor is wooden floor, I felt the squeaky. Like, you know, when you're in a basketball gym with basketball shoes, the grip, the shoes is already squeaking. Immediately I was thinking it should be very grippy if it's doing that, because not all shoes that I wear will do that. So off bat, that kind of gave me some kind of validity that will be grippy, and it ended up being very grippy. I will say though, the only thing that I would change about these shoes, because it was wet out and I purposely ran on a puddle, I would do a Gore-Tex version. This shoes is breathable, but if you step in the water, immediately your feet will get wet because it's that breathable. You can see the upper, it's woven, the mesh over here. It's very, you can even see little transparency through, it's holy. So that means it can breathe, but also that means if you step on something, your feet can get soaked immediately. But then on the flip side, it breathed well, because as soon as I got my socks wet, I started feeling air come in, cooler air, so that would allow it to dry. But my thinking was, oh, it'd be so dope if HOKA did a Gore-Tex version, because then I don't have to worry about that. And as I was running in some of the rockiest, sandier part, and then I thought about Gator as well. I don't think HOKA should do a Gator like the Tecton X. I think that's very special, because that is part of the shoes. But it'll be cool where they can have a Gator option where you can actually put the Gator on if you're in like a sandy race like Marathon des Sables, and you put the Gator on, and then if you don't need the Gator, you can remove it. So it's not on it the whole time, like how the Tecton X3 is. It's pretty much there. You can't remove it, which I like about that shoes. So this is my very first reaction of these shoes, the Mafate X. I think the Mafate X has come a long way, and it is the reason why HOKA is what it is today. But at the same time, they've come with so many versions that made it so special. There's so many different versions. Like I got to wear the HOKA collab with Nicole, which was the Mafate 3.2, which is really dope. And then there was like the Mafate Satisfied, which is pretty dope. There's so many versions. There's the Mafate 4, the Elite. So all those are there, but it all started with Mafate. And now HOKA say, you know what? Let's give it a little more oomph by putting a carbon plate in it. And also let's put a Piba foam in it, which is a performance shoes. I call the Piba foam super foam because it gives you the comfort of the softness that you need, but also it can push off the ground with the assist of the carbon plates. Root city over here, roots everywhere, roots. But watch my footing and comfortable enough to slow down, but also consistent cruise in root city. Root city. I will say if you are on your feet for a very long time, these shoes will do it for you. Will I use these shoes? Absolutely. My goal is to do a bunch of smaller, shorter trail race this summer, and I think I could still use these shoes for that. When I was out there, I felt good, I felt bouncy, and my third run with it, it felt even bouncier because I think the foam probably bricked in better, and I felt that all I kept doing when I was in the Catskill with some people running on the trail, I just keep doing this on the shoes. Like every time I step, I'm like, I feel like a boss. Like I want to do this bouncy walk because I just felt that within the shoes. If I have to compare this to a road shoes, I would compare it to the HellahGood X because there's something about that foam and the plush, and it's the high stack shoes where it actually almost swallows the rocks. When we were running on a rocky-ish road, it was a bunch of little tiny rocks, pebbles. I didn't feel any pebble dig into my sole, like the sole of my feet, because the foam is so nice. It was almost like eating it. Almost like, imagine putting a marshmallow on something and just melt over it. It was doing that. The HellahGood X does that so well on the road. When you happen to run over anything, any little thing pointy sticking out, you just don't even know it's there. And I would compare it to that because not only that has the PVA foam, also has the plates as well. But for a non-plated road shoe, definitely the Bondi 9. I think HOKA definitely designed this around well, let me not say definitely. I felt like it was like I felt familiarity with the HellahGood X when I was running with this shoe. So I think it's good. Comfort is always the priority. That's what HOKA started with. And now they say, okay, not only you can be comfortable, but you can have a little bit of speed. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for more to come. And remember to always do what you love. Get out there, enjoy this weather this summer around the corner, and get some running. I'll see you on the next one. Let's get it. Let's go. Fly, human fly.